A day inside your brain sounds peaceful, quiet, maybe a little philosophical, like your thoughts are just sitting around, sipping tea and discussing life choices. That is not what's happening. What's actually going on up there is more like a chaotic office, where half the employees are overcaffeinated. One is screaming about danger for no reason, and another one is replaying something embarrassing you did in 2013. For fun, your brain isn't calm. It's dramatic, it's paranoid, it's weirdly obsessed with survival. In situations where survival is not required, like sending a text message. Let's get right into it. Number 10. Morning panic. Boot up the moment you wake up. Your brain doesn't gently stretch and greet the day. No, it slams the existential dread button, like it's clocking into work. Before your eyes even fully open, your brain has already started a highlight reel. Everything you forgot to do, everything you might mess up, and that one awkward conversation that still haunts you, like a low-budget ghost. This is because your brain runs on prediction. It's constantly trying to guess what could go wrong, so you don't die. Unfortunately, it hasn't updated its software since the running from Predator Zero, so now it treats emails like potential bear attacks. Cortisol, your stress hormone, spikes in the morning. It's literally designed to wake you up, but instead of just saying, hey, time to start the day, it goes wakey pee. Everything could go wrong, so you lie there staring at the ceiling, suddenly aware of your entire life trajectory. At 7:12 o'clock a.m., basically your brain's idea of a good morning is a mild panic attack with a side of consciousness. Number 9. Phantom phone vibrations. You're sitting there calm, peaceful, maybe even productive, then suddenly buzz, you check your phone. Nothing. Congratulations, your brain just made that up. This phenomenon is called phantom vibration syndrome. And yes, it's as ridiculous as it sounds. Your brain has become so used to expecting notifications that it starts hallucinating them, like a bored intern inventing tasks. It's all about pattern recognition. Your brain is constantly scanning for signals it thinks are important, and since your phone equals social interaction, dopamine and validation, your brain treats it like a priority alert system. So when your leg twitches, or your clothes shift slightly, your brain goes, ah yes, clearly someone needs your attention. It's not even trying to trick you. It genuinely believes it's helping. It's like a guard dog barking at a leaf. Over time, your brain basically rewires itself to expect constant stimulation. Silence becomes suspicious. Stillness becomes weird. So now even when nothing is happening, your brain makes something happen. Because apparently, peace and quiet is just too boring to be real. Number 8. The overthinking machine. At some point during your day, your brain decides to take a completely normal situation and turn it into a psychological thriller. You send a message, simple, harmless, something like, hey, just checking in. 5 minutes pass, no reply. Your brain immediately assembles a full investigation team. Why haven't they responded? Did I say something wrong? Are they mad? Is this the end of all social connection as we know it? Now you're mentally drafting apology speeches for something that hasn't even happened. This is because your brain hates uncertainty. It would rather assume the worst than sit in the uncomfortable void of, I don't know. From an evolutionary standpoint, assuming danger was safer than ignoring it. But now instead of worrying about predators, you're worried about typing bubbles. The prefrontal cortex tries to be logical, but the emotional brain, specifically the amygdala, loves drama. And guess which one is louder? So now you're pacing, checking your phone every 30 seconds, and rereading your own message, like it's a cryptic puzzle. In reality, the other person is probably just busy, but your brain is writing a full tragedy, because nothing says survival like panicking over a delayed text. Number 7. Decision fatigue spiral. Imagine standing in front of your closet. Not a dangerous situation, no wild animals, no imminent threats, and yet your brain reacts like you're being asked to solve global diplomacy. What should I wear? Does this look weird? What if people notice? What if no one notices? What if that's worse? Congratulations, you've entered decision fatigue. Your brain has a limited amount of mental energy for making choices. Every decision, big or small, uses up a little bit of that energy, and by midday, your brain is basically running on fumes and vibes. This is why choosing lunch suddenly feels like a moral dilemma. Your prefrontal cortex, the logical decision maker, starts to get tired. So your brain shifts into shortcut mode. It either overthinks everything, or gives up completely and picks whatever is easiest. That's how you go from "I'll eat healthy today" to "I guess I live here now" in a fast food parking lot. It's not laziness. It's your brain saying, "I have made too many choices today. I am done participating." Basically, your brain is a phone battery, and by 3 p.m. it's at 2%, blinking red and making questionable life decisions. Number 6. The midday energy crash. Somewhere in the middle of your day, your brain just gives up, not dramatically, not loudly. It just quietly powers down, like a laptop that's had enough of your nonsense. This is your circadian rhythm at work, your internal clock that controls sleep and alertness. Around early afternoon, your body naturally dips in energy. It's not because you're lazy, it's because your biology scheduled a mini shutdown. Back in the day, this was perfect. Humans could take a break, maybe nap, maybe not get eaten by something. But now you're expected to be productive, focused, and alert, while your brain is basically requesting a blanket and a dark room. Neurotransmitters like serotonin and adenosine start building up, making you feel sleepy. Your brain slows down, thoughts get foggy, motivation disappears like it owes someone money. This is also when your brain becomes incredibly suggestible. Suddenly scrolling feels like a great idea. Snacks feel necessary. Work feels optional. Your brain isn't broken. It's just trying to transition into rest mode. Unfortunately, your schedule did not get that memo. S0 You sit there staring at your screen, pretending to work, while your brain is mentally on a beach somewhere. Number 5. The inner critic takes over. At some point, your brain decides it's time for a performance review. And spoiler, it is not a supportive manager. Out of nowhere, your thoughts turn into a highlight reel of everything you've ever done wrong. Not big things, small, oddly specific moments. That thing you said 3 years ago. Yeah, that was terrible. Remember when you waved back at someone who wasn't waving at you? Unforgivable. This is your brain's negativity bias. It naturally focuses more on mistakes than successes, because historically mistakes could get you killed. Success just meant you survived, which was expected. So your brain stores awkward moments like they're valuable life lessons, even when they're just mildly embarrassing. Social glitches. The inner critic is also tied to self-awareness. The more aware you are, the more material it has to work with. It's like having a commentator in your head who only watches your worst clips. And the worst part, your brain delivers these thoughts with full confidence. No hesitation, no fact-checking. So you sit there, cringing at something no one else even remembers, while your brain narrates like it's exposing a scandal. Basically, your brain is both the performer and the harshest critic, and it refuses to take a day off. Number 4. The memory remix machine. You think your memories are accurate, like little recordings stored neatly in your brain. They are not. Your brain treats memories more like a creative writing project than a documentary. Every time you remember something, you're not replaying it, you're reconstructing it. Your brain pulls pieces together, fills in gaps, adds emotional flavor, and occasionally just improvises. That means the story you've told yourself about a past event has probably been edited multiple times without your permission. Maybe that embarrassing moment, it's now 30% worse than it actually was. Maybe that happy memory, slightly more cinematic than reality. This happens because your brain prioritizes meaning over accuracy. It cares more about how something felt than what exactly happened. So over time, memories drift. They change. They evolve into slightly dramatic versions of themselves. It's like your brain is constantly updating the script, but never saving the original file, which means some of the things you're absolutely certain about, there's a decent chance your brain just made those details up. Basically, your past is a story your brain keeps rewriting, and you're just along for the narrative. Number 3. The social simulation engine. Before you say anything to anyone, your brain has already run about 17 simulations of how it might go. You're about to speak in a meeting. Your brain is like, alright, let's rehearse every possible outcome, including complete social collapse. It predicts reactions, adjusts your tone, edits your words, and then sometimes stops you from speaking entirely. This is your brain trying to protect your social standing, which historically was tied to survival. Being rejected by your group used to be a very real problem. Now the stakes are lower, much lower, but your brain didn't get the update. So it treats casual conversations like high-risk negotiations. That's why you sometimes replay conversations afterward, analyzing every word like you're reviewing game footage. Why did I say that? Did that sound weird? Should I have laughed differently? Meanwhile, the other person has already forgotten the interaction and is thinking about lunch. Your brain just refuses to accept that not every moment is socially life. Death. S0 It simulates, predicts, overanalyzes, and occasionally panics, all to help you say, yeah, that makes sense. Basically, your brain is running a full social strategy game for conversations that last 12 seconds. Number 2. The late night existential crisis. It's nighttime, quiet, peaceful, finally a break. Your brain. Now would be a great time to question everything. Out of nowhere you're thinking about your life choices, your future, your purpose, and somehow the vastness of the universe. Why now? Because during the day, your brain is busy. Tasks, distractions, noise, it's occupied. At night everything slows down. There's space, and your brain hates empty space. So it fills it with thoughts, big ones also. Your emotional regulation is weaker when you're tired. The logical part of your brain starts to clock out, while the emotional part stays fully awake and ready to spiral. That's why problems feel bigger at night, more dramatic, more permanent. A small concern becomes a life crisis. A random thought becomes a philosophical debate. You're lying there staring at the ceiling, suddenly aware that you exist, and that's somehow overwhelming. And then just as you reach peak existential confusion, your brain casually suggests, hey, remember that embarrassing thing from earlier? Let's revisit that too. So now you're questioning your life and reliving awkward moments simultaneously. Basically, nighttime is when your brain turns into a deep thinker with absolutely no chill. Number 1. The dream generator. You finally fall asleep. Peace at last. The chaos is over. Your brain. Let's get weird. Dreams are what happen when your brain takes logic, throws it out the window, and starts directing a movie with absolutely no rules. That you're suddenly back in school, but also at your current job, and somehow your teeth fall out, and your childhood pet is giving you life advice. None of it makes sense, and yet in the moment your brain is like, yes, this is completely normal during sleep. Especially I am sleep. Your brain is processing emotions, organizing memories, and basically doing overnight maintenance. But instead of doing this quietly, it creates bizarre storylines, using random fragments of your day. The logical part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, is mostly offline. That's why you don't question anything. Meanwhile, the emotional and visual centers are highly active, which is why dreams feel intense, vivid, and sometimes uncomfortably personal. S0 Your brain is mixing leftover thoughts, emotions, and memories into a surreal experience that feels meaningful, but it's often just mental recycling, and occasionally, it throws in a nightmare for dramatic effect. Because apparently even in sleep, your brain enjoys keeping things interesting. You wake up confused, slightly emotional, and unsure why. You were just being chased by a giant version of your responsibilities. Basically, your brain never really stops working. It just switches from chaotic reality mode to abstract nonsense theater. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.